Before we get into the episode, I am thrilled to announce that the EntreMD Business School is open for enrollment. The EntreMD Business School is the only school of its kind for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. Over the last 2 years, we have had hundreds of doctors go through the school with unbelievable results. Some of them run brands, some of them run private practices, some of them are coaches, some have other kinds of service-based businesses or product-based businesses. And we've had people come in and cross the 6-figure milestone, cross the 7-figure milestone, cross the multiple 7-figure milestone. You will be in a place where you'll get the coaching, the community, the accountability that you need to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in the times that we're in. So maybe you've been following me for a while. Maybe you've been getting so much out of the EntreMD podcast and you've been wondering, how can I work with Dr. Una and the community more? Well, this is your chance. Come join us in the EntreMD Business School. It is application only. So go to entremd.com/business to turn in your application. I cannot tell you how many doctors have made statements like this. I recovered my investment in the first week. I recovered my investment in my bank account in the first 90 days. This is the best investment I've made in myself ever. I want you to have that kind of story, not just a story of building a great business that serves a lot and earns a lot, but having a business that gives you the freedom to live life on your terms. So don't wait any longer. entremd.com/business. And now for the episode. Sometimes people want to know, what is the one thing that will make the biggest difference in my business, right? And of course, there isn't really a one thing, but there is something that if you make a habit in your business as an entrepreneur, and if you make this a habit for your team, your business will grow in an explosive way, and you will create results in your business that you couldn't even foresee. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. This is something so powerful that in the EntreMD Business School, we built a challenge around it. And this is a challenge people look back to and they say, this is a challenge that changed everything for me in my business. That thing is asking. And asking is something that we run away from because we don't want it to seem like we need something, because we are afraid of being rejected. We don't want to hear the word no. We've been told don't talk to strangers. And now as entrepreneurs, we're not only to talk to strangers, but also to ask strangers for things. And sometimes we're like, I don't want to bother people. Okay. But I'm going to show you 5 asks that if you make these in your business, you make this where it's something that's happening daily, is happening weekly, your business will change forever. Now, if you have any hangups around this, what I want you to do is really treat this as a challenge and really treat this as something that I'm just going to do. It's not a bad thing. My business is great. It changes lives, solves problems for people. My private practice is wonderful. My coaching business is wonderful. I want you to lean into the beauty of your business for a second here. Okay. Think about a patient you've worked with and the transformation that you created in their lives, right? You're a weight loss doc. Think about somebody who had been struggling for years. And first of all, you help them look at themselves and look at their bodies in a completely different way. You help them to change their eating habits. You help them exercise. Maybe they needed medication. You help them with all of that. And they had been struggling with this for decades. And in your business, in your practice, you were able to fix that, reverse that. Maybe they were on medication for hypertension and diabetes. And what you did was so amazing that they're either off it or their doses are less and all of that. And, you know, it's given this person new confidence and new level of self-esteem, and their marriage is better. Their relationship with their kids are better. They're showing up better at work. They got that raise at work. This is what your business does. When you are asking, remember, you're looking away from you and you're looking towards the person, the problem they have, and the fact that your business can solve that. And then you ask, right? So you're asking from that space And that's what puts you in a position where you're happy to ask. You're happy to invite people to work with you because it's just mind blowing. Okay. So you can have the most amazing service, yet nobody will know and nobody will use it and nobody will come work with you because there are other things that need to happen. Like it needs to be amazing. That's one. And then we need to do the ask to get the people to say yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. So 5 asks. Number 1, first ask is work with me. Come work with me. Come be a patient in my private practice. Come coach with me. Come have me as a speaker. Come have me as a consultant in your company. Whatever that is, you got to ask people to work with you. You know, my service is good. It speaks for itself. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. You need to speak for it. And you need to invite people to come work. If you have a great product, a great service, it is your moral obligation, ethical obligation to tell people about it and tell them to come work with you. Okay? People will not say yes to a question you're not asking. So ask and make it a normal thing. Normalize it, right? For instance, you're listening to this podcast. This means you're a physician. It means you're an entrepreneur. And I'm going to say this, right? We are in a wonderful time for physicians. We are in a time where back in the day, we did not have a business education. We did not know how to figure out this thing called entrepreneurship. This is not a problem anymore. Okay. So maybe you're working a business, you're bringing in revenue, you're not really bringing in profits, you're struggling with your team, you don't even know who the next person to hire is. The team that you do have, you're afraid to lead them, you're afraid to hold them accountable because you're like, then I'm bothering them, or maybe they'll just leave, right? And you to start your own business because there was burnout and you didn't like your working environment and all of that. And you're back in the same spot. You experienced burnout, but you experience it in your business. If that's you, you can have an alternate reality because in the EntreMD Business School, what we do is we show you how to create revenue. We show you how to lead team and lead your team in a profitable way. We show you how to build your dream business and your dream life. We have served hundreds of physicians with unbelievable stories of life change. And they are living their dream lives and they are building their dream businesses. And that could be you too. So if you've been thinking about it, I want to invite you to get off the fence. I want to invite you to say, you know what? I've thought about this for so long. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Let me make a decision. I want to commit to my goals and I want to commit to the support that will help me get there. Right? And so I want to invite you to book a call with my team and they will look at your business. They'll look at what we do and they'll tell you, this is amazing. We can support you. And these are 5 other doctors like you that we've helped do the exact same thing. We can share their stories with you, right? And so what you do is entremd.com/call, book your call, and we'll be happy to talk with you. Okay. Okay. Do you see that? Work with me. Work with me. It's an ask you always want to make. You always want to be making that. Second ask is continue to work with me. Okay. I didn't realize this until 2 things happened. So the first thing, in my private practice is if you don't ask patients to come back, I'm a pediatrician, right? So there's this periodicity, right? They come at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months. If you don't ask them to come back and help them get scheduled, they're not going to come back because they're busy. They have other things going on, especially the years where they don't need vaccines and stuff like that. They are not coming. And so if you are here, if you're listening to this and you run a private practice and you've been around for more than 2 years, I guarantee you have a ton of patients who are overdue for visits. And that's your impact and revenue sitting in your database, right? So you ask them to continue to work with you. So you pull up a list of all the people who are overdue with appointments, split amongst your staff and have them call. It will change your business. This was one of the strategies that kept us thriving in the midst of the pandemic. It was one of those strategies is the people who are overdue, get them all in. Okay. All right. So ask them to continue to work with you. We have done that in the EntreMD Business School as well, because the EntreMD Business School, we did build as a program that you can engage in for the life of your business, right? So whether you are, starting or hitting your first 100,000 or you're on your way to your first million or you're on to multiple million or multiple companies, like we have support for all of these levels. So it's built as a lifetime. It's built as a lifetime program. That's why we had, like a second tier for the people who are doing over $1 million in revenue. And we're going to keep upping the ante because I want to be able to support the docs. I'm committed to them. Right. And so one of the things we do is, they've come, they've done their year. And we're like, let's go for another year. Like if this happened in a year, what could happen in another year? And it's amazing. Like we've gone for events where at the event, 40% of the people who came for the event had been in the school for longer than a year. And the longer they stayed, the bigger their results, the more they upgrade their identity, the different kind of entrepreneur they could, many of them come in to start one business or to build their brand, and they build their brand, and they build their first business, then they build a second business. And I told them, like, many of you are going to be serial entrepreneurs. You don't know this yet, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm a good pilot. I know what we're doing here. So ask people to continue to work with you. Okay. You're a coach. You have a 6-month package or a 1-year package. Ask them to continue to work with you because they still have problems. You still have solutions. This is not about manipulation. This is not about making a buck. This is about continuing to serve your people at the highest level. Right? Number 3, you can ask them to work with you at a higher level. So you are in private practice and you have ancillary services and other things that people can continue to work with you in that way. You invite them to do that. Okay. If you don't, they will not know. Let me tell you this. We had a doc. I love her. She's so amazing. She's an ophthalmologist, and she came for one of our EntreMD Business School in-person events. And so she said, one of her goals was to have more people do surgeries with her. And I'm like, you're an ophthalmologist. Where do they go to do the surgery? She's like, they just come for their medical care. And they would ask her, like, so where do I go for this? Like for my cataract surgery or whatever that is. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, the same way you would promote and campaign if you were starting is the same way you're going to promote and campaign for this line of service that people don't actually know that you do. They think you're the glasses lady or, whatever it is that they were thinking. So she went to work on that. And now she's at a point where there are so many, like she's fully booked. She's booked solid for surgeries. Now think about that. That means her patients who know, like, and trust her, who she knows inside out, and she's a great surgeon, they're getting amazing care from her. So her impact in their lives is even bigger, right? And her revenue, I want you to think about it. Her revenue is so much bigger because now she's working with them in a way, right? If you're a coach, let me use myself as an example. Maybe you can use this philosophy, if you will. One of the things that I'm very committed to is I'm very committed to my personal evolution. I'm committed to my growth because I know the more I grow, the more I can help the people I'm called to help. My assignment is to help physicians build profitable 7-figure businesses so they have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on their terms. And the intent is to completely disrupt the physician space and change the physician narrative where all these things are being stuck and we don't know how to build thriving businesses and all of that. Like all of those things will be a thing of the past because the new norm becomes we build dream businesses and we build our dream lives, right? That's the intent. And so because of that, I don't have the liberty of growing up to a certain stage and then just stopping there and all. I don't have that liberty, right? Because I am shattering glass ceilings. But when you shatter glass ceilings, you become a glass ceiling. And if I'm going to be a glass ceiling, I need to raise that as high as I can possibly raise it, right? Okay. Because of that. So initially, we'd help them first 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and all of that stuff. And the more we did that in the EntreMD Business School, the more we realized we were creating more problems, right? So the reward for solving problems, AKA hit the 7-figure mark, is new problems. Like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Because the systems that I used to use are broken. I need a different dimension of team. How do I lead that team? What do I do with this profit thing? Like there are new problems that are created. I even had the students from the business school. I kind of knew it was time to do that, but they walked up to me. They're like, Dr. Una, we have new problems and we need you to fix these problems. And so what we did is we then created a new tier of the business school called EntreMD Business School Scale that is for doctors who are either at 1 million and are still interested in hypergrowth or dangerously close to 1 million and are interested in hypergrowth. And so that's what we created. And so if I ask people to come into that, they will come. If I don't ask them, they won't come. That's just the way this works, right? And so I'm asking them to work with me at a higher level. Like in this place, then we focus on profit as opposed to just revenue. We focus on building that team that can run your company without you, right? We focus on building the processes that will handle that. We focus on building capacity, right? Because the more zeros, the problems have bigger zeros, right? And so the capacity to weather that and the capacity to be okay in that, like all that. So it's fantastic, but I have to ask. And so it's the same thing for you. Maybe people work with you in a group setting and you have another version where they can work with you one-on-one and all of that stuff. You ask people to work at you at a higher level. People will say, well, they got all these results. They would know, and they won't. They won't know. I'm helping you. I'm helping you add tons of money to your business. They will not know. You're going to ask. If they will work with you, you ask. If they'll continue to work with you, you'll ask. If they're going to work with you at a higher level, you will ask. You're going to ask. Number 4 is the ask of telling your clients, your patients, to tell their family and friends about you. So that's your patient referrals. You're going to ask your patients, ask your clients to refer. They will know you. They will love you. They will be so amazed at what you do. But if you really want to see them telling other people about you, you will ask them. If you ask them, they'll do it. If you don't, some will, but it will be the minority. And it won't be consistent. So ask people to work with you. Ask people to continue to work with you. Ask people to work with you at a higher level. Ask your clients to refer people to you. Okay. Private practice, the way I say this is when people say, oh my goodness, doc, you're the absolute best, and all of that. Hear it as them giving you an invitation. Hear them saying to you, oh my goodness, ask me for a referral. Ask me. I say, oh my goodness, thank you. I'm so grateful that, we're able to help you with this and all of that. Are there friends and family members you have that you believe deserve a doctor like me? Will you send them to me? Right? Simple. That's a one-liner. That one-liner can translate to hundreds of thousands of dollars, arguably millions of dollars in your business. Okay. So it's kind of like McDonald's with, you want to have fries with that? You want to have fries with that? Right? Dramatic impact to your bottom line. Okay. And when I say bottom line, it's not just your bottom line. This is a revenue conversation, right? That's why we're saying bottom line, but it's also the impact. It's also the impact, right? So for instance, we had a doc who, invited one of her friends to come to the EntreMD Business School, even had her come to EntreMD Live, and she came and all of that. And her friend eventually joined. And this friend, in the first 90 days in the business school, grew her revenue by 122%. So it's not just about, oh, then they'll come in, then you make more money. People before profits, right? But we're cool with the people. We're not cool with the profits. That's why we talk about profits so much on this show. Okay. But think about that. Think about the life change. Think about what she now believes is possible, because a lot of times the win is a win, but it's not the win. The win is you shock yourself and you're like, hang on a whole minute. If I could do that, what else could I do? What else is possible for me? It's so much transformation. So beautiful, right? So ask your clients, ask your patients to send you their friends and family. And like, this is an instant. This is not a paid product, but if you listen to this podcast and it has made any change in your life whatsoever, any kind of change, and you're like, this is amazing, right? Do me a solid. Take a screenshot of this episode. Tell people this podcast has changed my business. This podcast is the reason I have a private practice. This podcast is the reason I'm thriving. Whatever that is, post it, tag me. Okay. Hashtag EntreMD, add Dr. Unachukwu if it's Instagram, then add Neka Unachukwu if it's Facebook. I will reshare it. I'll shout you out. I'll be so grateful, right? That's the same thing you do in your business. Ask people. Now I'll be looking. Don't hurt my feelings. Okay. And the fifth one is you asking people who are part of your referral base. So people who have access to your people to refer their people to you. Okay. So again, I'm a pediatrician. OBGYN would be part of my referral base. As EntreMD, anybody who has audiences full of physicians, that will be part of my referral base, asking those people to connect me with their audience, right? Like to connect me with their audience, whether that's me being a guest in front of their audience, or that's them writing an email to talk about what I do, or whatever that is, right? Asking referral sources. So not patients now, but what we call centers of influence, people who are leaders of communities that have your ideal patients or ideal clients in them, asking those people to tell their audience about you. If you're a pediatrician, a daycare center, like things like that. If you are a specialist, a primary care doc, those are people who have access to your people, asking them to tell their people about you. Okay. I want you to pause for a second and think about this with me. Forget about the work you will do, maybe mindset drama is showing up or any of those things. If every day in your company, if every day as a company, you're asking people to work with you, asking people to continue working with you, asking people to work with you at a higher capacity, asking your clients, your current clients and patients to send people to you, and asking your people who are part of your referral base to put you in front of their audience to, what do you think will happen to your business? I mean, I want you to think about it. It will be so wild. If you build a system around this will be so wild, right? So I want to invite you to do it. Think about the outcome that it will create. And then just decide, I'm going to get good at asking. I'm going to get good at doing this stuff. I'm going to get better. It will rock your world in the best possible way. And it is also your insurance policy. I'll tell you what I mean by that. There are times where you may not have as many new clients but you have many who are continuing to work with you. You may not have as many that are continuing to work with you, but there are many who are choosing to work with you at a higher level. You may have nobody deciding to work with you at a higher level, but you have your patients and your clients sending you new people. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's your insurance policy, because if one of these 5 things is not performing, you have 4 other things that could be performing. And so you could still win. Maybe you have a month where there's no new client. None. But if you have these 4 other levers, if you have 3 of these other levers really working, you'll be okay. So you want to fire on all cylinders because it's your insurance policy and it'll change everything. Okay? As I've been saying, this is the 4th in a series called the Revenue Boost series. And in this series, what I'm doing is just helping you figure out how to get your business where you're profitable, where you're creating the revenue you want to have. And in EntreMD, we are committed. We are committed. Our big goal is we want to help 100 doctors cross 100,000 in revenue, 75 cross $500,000 in revenue, 50 cross $1 million in revenue, 25 add $1 million to their business that's already doing over 7 figures. That's you, right? That's you. And so to do this, we're doing many things. We've completely revamped the EntreMD Business School. But the other thing we're doing is we're doing a workshop. We're going to do it multiple times called the Revenue Boost Challenge. And in this workshop, it's a 5-day workshop. You're going to learn and do, learn and do, learn and do. We're going to give you proven strategies that have worked, that always work, that you can apply in real time and start creating that boost in your business, right? We've been told, oh, doctors can't run, great businesses. Doctors don't know how to market. They don't know how to sell. They don't know anything, but they got it wrong. There's a new breed of physicians. That's you. That's me. We have a whole revolution going on and everything is about to change. And for everyone who's like, oh, I'm going to be part of that 175, 50, 25 that Dr. Una is talking about, you're going to be the vision board who's going to show the physician community exactly what is possible. That is you. Okay. So go save your spot, revenueboostchallenge.com. Save your spot for our next workshop. Okay. And as many times as we do it, show up and create a new boost in your business. Okay. But this is what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with this picture. Everything is about to change. Your business will have more impact. It will create more revenue. It will create more financial freedom for you. It will create more time freedom for you. And you'll find yourself truly living life on your terms, doing medicine the way you want to do it, doing life the way you want to do it, because the time for you to be rewarded for the extraordinary price you paid to become a physician, devote your life to taking care of others. The time for your reward is now. It's been delayed for long enough. It's now, and we're going to do it together. Okay. So I'm rooting for you. Don't forget to share this episode and tell people, take the screenshot, share it on social media. Maybe, share how the podcast has changed your life or share how this episode has inspired you. And I'll see you on the next episode of the EntreMD podcast.